Right, good evening. Hope everyone is well. It's the 21st of April, 2026, and today is another market nightly recap session. So it's actually interesting because I'm recording a raw file here, and earlier I was doing the recording, but guess what? I did not hit the record button. So here we are again. Let me repeat myself. So it's another trading session. I was away for about a week. I had a great time. I was in Portugal. Hope you all had a good rest. One of the most important thing here is health. Take time out, look after yourself, look after your health. And, trading is always going to be here. It's going to be waiting for us. And here we are. Okay. Now, what was I saying? My system's just frozen. Let's just see what system's going to say to me. Okay. Yep, system just froze out. Bear with me. Okay, I believe this is recording anyway, so we're just gonna crack on. Now, as I was saying, this is the BK box right here, as we have it. And I was talking about this since, we had the correction the last time. But one more thing, today I've been looking a lot at, looking at the cup and handle pattern. And what do you notice about the formation? We do have, this is like, it's a multi-month formation. I mean, sometimes you don't look at it, but it stares at you in the face and you sometimes realize it late. And if you can see this formation right here, you can see it forms all the way here and then it reforms again. So that was a great cup and handle formation, and that's what got us being bullish. So you can see from right here and boom. So that is the SOSA. And then we broke out of this range and we're off. And like I kept saying about this BK from BK box since October last year, I said if we break out of this, we're not looking back. And as you can see, that's exactly what the market has done. Going to keep tonight's session extremely short. So that's number one. A lot of assets have been, extremely bullish today, and there's lots of stocks that we've been looking at. Looking at some of these guys from the bottom. I mean, this thing is doubled 100%. This is bull here. We have Snapchat as well. This is one of the stocks which is just I probably say it's done amazing, incredible. $6 from the lows of four, so it's a 50% just printed like that. So this is what I call anything moves at some point. In fact, there was even a stock I was assessing. Um, I think it looked bearish to me, but you know what? Market says otherwise. Even look at this. This is beyond me. So, some of these stocks has been forgotten and dead and buried. But look at them just making this is a sign. I'm not saying it's a sign of the top or a sign of the bottom, but it's just a sign. Take it how you leave it, how you want it. It's up to you. I'm just telling you, sharing from my years of experience, of knowledge. Look, FCell, I think we even have plug. So at some point, it just seemed like dirt is running. But again, I also looked, so that's something I thought about today. I also looked at, crude oil. Something incredibly I saw, and many people don't see that. But look at crude oil. Since I've drawn this line, guess what? The line has terribly stayed above. Now, while yes, the president wants a cheap oil, but it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Okay, I think. Again, I said I was talking about pop and handle formation earlier today, and it kind of looks like that's what we might just get. And if you look at this on a monthly month formation, so you can see right there, we will get something that looks like this. And I'm going to explain. So we do have something that looks like this. We're going to have a shakeout, and that's what I think is eventually going to happen. Don't quote me, I don't know, but I put a thesis somewhere right here. On the crude oil futures anyway. Let's move again. What about gold? I saw this thing again. I did not realize early, but look at what happened with gold. Gold gave us this warning for a while, You could see 2020, this is when the people were stockpiling it. And guess what? We had the cup and handle formation right here, collapse, and boom, it left us running. Again, let's look at silver silver, and that's exactly what the market's been doing. So I can tell you could see some correlation within the market. Look at this, and then it just went off, and now we've got that in the queues again. So you just need to have that patience. Sometimes you don't see these things early, but eventually you will. And look at what we have again on the cues. We do have right there a perfect cup handle. And then, of course, we moved away. So, these things are trending up. Market is extremely terribly bullish. Couldn't say that word. Terribly bullish. But again, you've got to be gentle. Don't chase every move. But look at what the VIX is doing. Volatility actually went up today as well. And what is that telling us? You can see it's all sorts. Volatility is low. For me personally, this is not the time I'm buying. Yes, am I trading? Absolutely. But I'm not buying anything. I'm just watching the markets. Look, very soon earnings kick off. Things are going to start going erratic. And I did the same thing with Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin here. Hope you can see this thing here. Right there again, we do have this cup and handle formation. Cups forming here, handle, and I think this is eventually going to blow off. Look, we've got the previous key resistance and it's holding. It goes up, it goes all the way back here. You can see that curl here. You can see the uptrend, which is being held underneath by the 70K line. So, we could clear cup and handle formation here, and all these things are happening right in our presence. Sometimes we tend to miss it because we're looking at, they say don't miss the tree for the forest. You're looking at so many things at the same time. But if you're patient, you're going to see them. Look at what happened. BRK. We know BRK is it's an inverse correlation to the S&P. And look at that. Look at the way BRK is collapsing really. Again, from the BK box right here, if BRK comes out of this box, then we're in trouble. But it depends on what your trading or investing pattern is. Something, if it comes out here, then of course an amazing buying opportunity. They're just going to keep loading up the the bag. But again, some people think, do you know what? Maybe it's time to get out. But I love this company. I love what it's doing. I love it at this price, and I'm just watching. And this one of my look, for me personally, it's one of my holdings, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not in a big rush to do anything. Look, we have AHR. This is one of the companies we were looking at. This was at $8, and look at what it's doing now. Pushing $100. SNDK. These are the leaders, and does that mean they're tired? I don't think so. I don't think they're tired. It's just stuck at the top now. At some point, it's going to collapse, but we don't know. So there you go. They are playing different rates, but at the same time, you've got to understand, earnings season is the time for a pivot in the market. It's the time for a what's it called, for a rotation. But don't be in a rush. Where does it rotate to? I don't know. But we'll see how it goes anyway. Earnings start very soon, but until then, stay safe, play safe, and of course, stay green. Okay, I shall see you next time and have a great night. Take care, everyone.